What's up, YouTube? Capital G here, D and dual commentary. We've got Free Jordan 2014. I have to appreciate that name because that is actually my last name, Jordan. And Sign the Slip 1622. What was that first rating? 1521. I feel like I didn't say it. Alrighty then. So we have new school versus old school. Both are rank 4 spammy decks. And we're going to see which one is going to win. Basically, I'm just trying to see if Geargia is getting power creeped. Alright, so let's recap. Free Jordan opened up with, well, he went Power Duality. He went for Geargia Arsenal. Sign the Slip he had Deneb on board. Free Jordan decided to attack it. It didn't die or anything. Obviously, he couldn't tribute the Geargia Arsenal because he dualitied for it, so he couldn't special summon. And Sign the Slip then went Vega. Free Jordan tried to activate Pulling the Rug, which Free Jordan or Sign the Slip was like, what? You main deck that? And I guess he does. I mean, again, I did make a video about how the card is legitimate. Sign the Slip opted to wiretap it, and here's where we are. So yeah, this is really going to showcase, and I know that every duel you have to kind of take with a grain of salt, and you know, it's like, don't take a duel and a vacuum and use it as the general consensus. I do get that, but you know, I feel like this could be one of those showcases for if a deck can still compete, you know what I mean? So let's see what's gonna happen. Alright, so we just saw that Free Jordan, Sign the Slip decided to clash Altair with Geargia Arsenal, and I mean, why not? Altair paid for it. Altair is a +2 every time you use it, so he basically took one of those +2. No, actually, he still keeps the +2 because he just got an even exchange 1-for-1. Now, if I'm Sign the Slip, knowing that I already have Altair, if I don't have any aspirations of making Deltaros, I'm probably just gonna go Diamond Direwolf and just pop a back row because you got your +2, convert some of that advantage into straight up removal. You know what I mean? Basically, you still be +1. You just be taking your these two monsters, converting them into taking removal. Converting them into removal for a face down, and just simplifying the game. You see that he goes into Constellar Omega, which, don't get me wrong, it's a good card. Me personally, when I play against Constellar, I keep calling them that. When I play against S-Knights and they go into Constellar Omega, I seem like I'd be fucking the deck up a lot with artifacts when they go into that card. You know what I mean? I'll just be like, that's cool. You know, in phase Sanctum, in phase Double Cyclone. Double Cyclone is so good this format. Alright, so you see Soul Charge for what? That's Soul Charge for 1 card. And he does have to pay that 1,000 life points. The question here will be, will he go for Gear Giant X and simply try and protect it? Or will he go into something more proactive like Silent Honor Arc 101? You hate to see somebody have to give up so many cards just to get rid of 1 Omega. And he does get rid of the Omega. The problem is your opponent does have another Altair. I mean, it seems like before you can fight back, you have to get through the Altair train, and we see yet another Pulling the Rug, and it works. Okay, if you want to get back into the game, taking those 1-for-1s is definitely the way to do it. So he's main decking. Well, I can't technically say he's main decking 2 Pulling the Rugs because there is a possibility that could be the same Pulling the Rug. Now, I think that Free Jordan got a little too aggressive there. I feel like if you set Geargia armor, like, it's kind of a waterfall. It's a waterfall of advantage. Like, I get that you were pushing for damage, but think about it. What does that extra 1100 do? Like, does it really help you win? Or will resolving it pretty much put you in a huge advantageous position? Like, I think you gotta make sure you resolve that damn thing. Especially if you had Phoenix Chain and other stuff to back it up. Now you see that Deneb is normal summoned after the Call of the Haunted for Altair was met with Phoenix Chain. And I think Sign the Slip might go for 101 now, and it looks like he does. And 101 on 101 Crime, it appears. How much are you 101? I hope you're like $20 now. Hot damn, 22 bucks. Okay, so that tells me I need to wait, what, maybe like another week? Well, nah, fuck that. I'll wait like 30 more weeks until basically the market is like flooded or whatever with 101s. And we see the final Altier, Vanity's Emptiness comes down. He'll obviously eat 1700. Geargia Armor would be pretty much the top deck that you'd want in this situation. And I'll give it to Free Jordan. At least he has, he's basically tuned his deck to have a very good matchup against a lot of decks. Now, you see that Sign the Slip was hit with Torrential Tributes. I've made my feelings on that card well known in the videos, the DN commentaries, if you watch them. I feel like Sign the Slip didn't surge. Okay, there's that surge. Now, Call of the Haunted does stay because he did go for 101. And he runs Alsam, which, again, I like to think of Alsam as a card you can never let attack you, because if you do, you have essentially taken 2400 damage from one attack. And that's a lot. That's a Caius, basically. You see Breakthrough Skill on Vega. I feel like Free Jordan is he's fighting for his life right now. And with all of that back row, even if half of it is real, which would be a card and a half, I don't see him coming back. He's going to eat another 1,000. Why does this keep popping up? Stop. Alright. So, Sign the Slip gets game 1. I think that Free Jordan could have potentially won that game had he not lost his armor. You think about if he loses 101, it's really not that big of a deal if he's able to maintain the armor. I mean, especially if he would have gotten Vanity plus armor, you just keep flipping that thing turn after turn after turn until you've got like 3 accelerators and, you know what I mean, 2 MK2s and shit, like until you have so much advantage that you're ready to go off. So, Free Jordan, well, he'll be choosing whether he goes first or second, and I would think that this matchup should be in his favor because he's main decking Pulling the Rugs. I've talked about that card too, and how that I think it's fairly good across the board. I mean, there are some cards like Shadow Mirror where you can only side them in against certain decks. Pulling the Rug's good against a lot. I actually summoned a Batteryman Charger not too long ago, and that shit got hit with Pulling the Rug. I felt a certain kind of way about that play. I was like, fuck. And the guy told me he watched my video. He was like, yeah, I watched your video. I was like, seems legit. Well, you know what I mean? It hits 9 volt. It hits Charger. You side it in against this deck, S-Knights. It hits every single card in the deck, actually. I mean, it hits Una, it hits Deneb, it hits Altier, it hits, what's the one that I'm missing? It hits Vega. Alright, so now you see Geargia Arsenal. And there's that Breakthrough Skill. You know, if he has a D prison, he's not in that bad of shape, honestly. Alright, so he's going to set 4. Are we going to see Call to Haunted during the end phase? There it is. Another reason I like MST this format. Like, I saw a regional top 8 version, or a regional top 8 build of Madoche on Vexicus's channel. And the guy was main decking 3 Phoenix Chains. And I was just like, I get that it's for Breakthrough Skill, but I still kind of like MST more. Because first off, just Vanity's Emptiness is just fucking everywhere. Second, Call of the Haunted sees a ton of play this format because S-Knights just completely revive the card, and then Batterymen play it too because they play artifacts and shit, a lot of them. So there's another deck where, like, literally just holding the MST in your hand is key. And then it's also, I mean, you do the same thing against Mermail when you play that. You hold the MST in your hand, so when they try and go, you know, main phase 2, Abyss Spear, you MST. Alright, so, and for a while, weren't Geargia were playing, they were playing Call of the Haunted as well, for a while. Like, not this format, but like a couple of formats ago, Geargia were main decking Call of the Haunted. Alright, so, he attacks twice. You see Card D come down. Actually starting to see a little more Card D right now. And he hits it with Alpha Nova. I'm kind of pissed that card's price has gone up. That was $16 last time I checked. Yeah, so that's up about $6. Alpha Nova was sitting at $10. I still look at Deltaros and I just think, how is Deltaros that cheap? I mean, most versions run 2 of him, and he's a secret. So it's like, what? Like, I don't get how the market is flooded with Deltaroses, yet Deneb's like fucking $40. You know what I mean? I get that you need 3 Denebs, and you can't even think about running the deck without him. I mean, yeah, you could probably get away with 1 Deltaros, but I don't know, man. It just seems like the card's so fucking necessary. It seems like a card that shouldn't be that cheap. Alright, so Free Jordan just passes a couple of times. There's Thunder King Ryo. So if he happened to actually get the card that he needed, that card being Geargia Armor, there's literally nothing from stopping Free Jordan from just being like attack, attack, attack. Apparently it wasn't Thunder King Ryo, and Free Jordan couldn't bluff because he knew that Ryo would just keep attacking. So even if it's like a Geargia Gear, there's not, he had to use the torrential. He activates Soul Drain, which makes me think maybe he's scared of Geargia Accelerator. And Free Jordan seems to be laughing. Maybe he'll wiretap that. I mean, why would you side deck Soul Drain against, you know, Geargia's? I don't really get it. Like, okay, I get that it worked, but it only works against Geargia, like, Accelerator and nothing else in the deck, so. I mean, obviously S-Knights don't get hurt at all by it. But then again, I guess if you're S-Knights, what do you really have for the Geargia matchup? I mean, Geargia is a deck that's pretty much dead right now, so. I mean, I'm thinking, well, I guess if you're siding Stygian Dirge, you know what I mean, you could pretty much disrupt their Geargia gear plays and stuff like that. I think Geargia still do run some rank 3s, but I mean, they couldn't make Gear Giant X at all, pretty much. So, alright, you know what? You know another thing that, a lot of people don't know about, this deck S-Knights, and why I don't think that people should be siding Dimensional Fissure. You know that you can't use, what's it called? You can't use Alpha Nova if you have Dimensional Fissure up, because sending the card to the graveyard is actually a cost. So, yeah, you totally can't do it. Alright, so there's Shadow Mirror, or excuse me, Light Mirror. And he's just going to attack for 17. Now here's the problem with the Floodgate cards, guys. If you don't draw a monster, you get your ass beat by 1 card. And it feels so much worse than if you actually would have had a removal card. Because with a removal card, like pulling the rug, you think, damn, well, at least, you know what I mean? At least I might have been able to live a little longer. You see the breakthrough skill used on Geargia Arsenal. Obviously, he didn't want to have to deal with, well, Geargia armor, probably, because he probably just would attribute it. Okay. And now he's going to go for rank 4, Gear Giant X. And I think I would probably get MK2. I mean, MK2. I was going to say MK3. I'm like, what the fuck am I talking about? MK2. Nope, he goes for Geargia Arsenal. You know what? That might make sense because Geargia Arsenal is like a beat stick against their deck. You know what I mean? Like, Geargia Arsenal is 17 by himself, and, you know, like, Deneb's only 15, Vega is, what, like, Vega's what, 12? Alsam's little punk ass, like, 14. And now you see Sign to Slip set cards, which you never, ever, ever see in S-Knights. So, if your opponent is setting a card, you might as well just go ham, basically. And he searched out Ally of Justice Cycle Reader. That's nice. Didn't even realize people really did that. But, I mean, that's a legit play. Because not only do you just, you know, cut off the Altier plays, but then you basically have a card that's searchable. So, Free Jordan just completely turned this duel around. I mean, I honestly thought that Light Mirror play wasn't going to amount to anything, but he threw out that Gear Giant X and it was a wrap. Okay, so now you see him going for Geargia Arsenal. Excuse me, Geargia Armor and a set. You see Altier. Maybe he's going to go Mind Control, which is a card that I honestly think is... Mind Control has just fallen off the planet, hasn't it? I think the problem with Mind Control is when decks like... we went from a format from where there was so much rank 4 everything, you know, Infernity, rank 4 deck, Bujin, rank 4 deck, not Mermill, but Geargia, rank 4 deck, to, you know, even, I don't know if I would use Mind Control against like Mermill. They run all types of crazy levels. And Sylvans, that's another deck that ran all types of crazy levels. But so much of the game was rank 4 based. And now you look at the format and, okay, you know, S-Knights are a rank 4 based deck, but you think about it, it's like, you know, you've got Shadows. You never know what the fuck you're going to get out of that deck. I mean, they might set Falco, or it could be one of the level 4 Squamata, or Dragon, or it could be a fucking Beast, although they do have to tribute for that ship. So, I mean, that might give you a little tip as to what it is. But my point is, Mind Control is like super inconsistent if you're running a rank 4 deck against Shadows. Yang Zing, again, when they set stuff, you have no idea what the hell it's going to be, so you can't use it against that. Burning Abyss are all level 3, from the damn tour guide to the mathematician to all the damn Burning Abyss monsters themselves. They're all level 3, so I don't know. I feel like Mind Control is just, it's just awful. Like, I would run it in Shadows, and that's it. Because Shadows can, damn, he has another Cycle Reader. I guess he has pretty much got it in his mind that Sign the Slip was not going to be able to do any Altier plays. But what I was going to say is, like, a deck like Shadows, I mean, they can Mind Control a face down level 3. They can use their tuner, Falco. They can go into Armades. They can, you know, take a 4 going to Goyo. They can take a 4, rank 4 Xyz. You know, if they take a 5, they can rank 5 Xyz. They can still synchro with that into, well, I guess it depends on what it is. Black Rose, Arcanite, stuff like that. Maybe even Michael if it's a level 5, like Artifact or something like that. So that deck, because they run Synchros and Xyz, I feel like they have tons of options. Most decks, not so much. Alright, so we see an opening of the Neb. Gets him the Altier. That's to be expected. I mean, that's how almost every player wants to start the match. Upstart Goblin, so Free Jordan has 2,000 life points, or excuse me, 9,000 life points. I'm eating some cereal if you guys hear me chewing, so don't be like, what the hell is he doing? Both players play Upstart Goblin. Okay, Free Jordan has a couple more. He has more Upstart Goblins than Sign the Slip does, apparently. There will be no OTKs this game, at least I don't see it happening. You see card deactivate. And I think Sign the Slip might be thinking of using a breakthrough skill or something. He does not. I was going to say, if you can't set 2 against S-Knights, you need more defense than that. 4 sounds about right. Alright, so he activates Alpha. Giving him a plus. No, not a plus, excuse me. Giving him a draw. And he's still, I mean, they're both still in really good shape. Ha! Pulling the Rug is activated. And that gets wiretapped. This can be huge. And the wiretap on wiretap action. Ladies and gentlemen, Free Jordan has to be feeling great about that, because he's still, I mean, he's still definitely in this game. It's 4-on-4. Sign the Slip, obviously, I mean, he's at advantage on turn, but still. You see Accelerator attacks. I definitely deprison that if I had to deprison. Oh, Call of the Haunted. Vanity's Emptiness as a counter. Nice. And that gets wiretapped. How many wiretaps are these guys playing? You see double wiretap action. This is why I like Malevolent Catastrophe. Just get all that shit out the way. Breakthrough skills played on Altier. He still could attack if he wants to. I don't think that he will, although he opts to just set a card. And you probably think that Sign the Slip has exhausted a lot of his counter trap options. I mean, the fact that he's playing probably 3 Alpha Nova plus 2 wiretaps, that's a lot. Now, I don't know. I think maybe Free Jordan should have just... Wow, he's playing 3 wiretaps. But then again, he's playing against Geargia, so what do you expect? Oh no, wait, that could be the wiretap that got wiretapped back. So, yeah, that could be the wiretap that was wiretapped originally. You see that he's going to attack with Altier, set another Call of the Haunted. Though players are just stacking up defense, I fully expect him to use Call of the Haunted, probably for Deneb. I thought he'd do it in the battle phase, but no biggie. Fiendish Chain is played to at least stop the bleeding. Although you could argue he could still attack with Altier and then go into Constello Omega. He decides to reverse that. He's going to attack directly. This wouldn't be a bad time to have hands, you know what I mean? You see Fiendish Chain played. I'd imagine he's going to activate the effect, which he does. And that seemed kind of like a wasted Fiendish Chain. I don't understand that. I thought maybe he was going to double chain, like, you know, play a Dimensional Prison or something on the Fiendish Chain, but that just seemed like kind of a wasted effort. And it looks like Sign to Slip's going in for the kill. I mean, that's 3,900 right there. No, he opts to not attack with Omega. I guess he decides he's not going to commit anything else to the board. It'd be so cool if he had full house basically, because then he could just launch all the Fiendish Chains, or he could launch the 2 Call of the Haunteds and basically go Feather Duster on his opponent's field. You know what I mean? The back row anyway. Okay, don't tell me they're gonna have a dispute. Oops. Don't tell me they're going to have a dispute over if he's in battle phase or main phase. You know, if I'm Geargia, I think I probably would have sided in hands. I mean, just think about it. Oh, Lord. Free Jordan's calling the admin. Think about this, right? Let's say that you're playing Geargia and you side in the hands against Evil Swarm, Battery Man, you know, just decks that might struggle against the hand cards. Decks that don't really have great ways of killing face downs. I mean, wouldn't S-Knights kind of be put in that same category? You know, I've said this before. S-Knights don't have great ways of killing face downs. They don't have any lockdown cards. I mean, they can make Abyss Dweller, but you barely ever see Abyss Dweller made, to be honest. Like, you would think in a format where Burning Abyss and Shadows are like some of the top decks that Abyss Dweller would be good. It just isn't. Like, Shadows, when you put Abyss Dweller on board, they're just like, Shadow Fusion, eat that motherfucker. And then Burning Abyss are just like, Dante, attack. They're just like, summon Tour Guide, make Dante, detach the Tour Guide instead of our Burning Abyss monster. Now we'll just attack. You see Anti-Luminescent Knight is summoned. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the game. And Free Jordan gets out of there quick. Oh, it's Free Jordanano. Oh, my bad. Free Jordanano. Okay, well, guess I had been sort of pronouncing the name wrong the entire time. Anyways, thank you guys for watching as always.